In this video, we are going to be analysing Novavax because it is one of the leading gappers today, being up 26%. Now, this is off a catalyst. This is off the European Commission recently approving one of their drugs. So that is really kind of that key reason for the catalyst. Now, what you can see as well, we came into 896. This is our first deviation on the 6 month. This is usually used as a relatively high key level. What you can see is coming into the level, if you don't get the pullback originally, you break straight through. What we're watching for is a pullback, and that's what you can see we got exactly, and then that level held. What this tells us is we are quite bullish on this move, so we are most likely going to continue up, and that next target would then be our next deviational level, and from here, that's going to be $11.92. So as of right now, that's kind of the expected move we would expect to see on Novavax if this momentum can continue. We're looking at 11.92 as that next resistance. Now, normally when we start coming into these levels, this is potentially where we can start looking short bias. Now, I would be a bit more cautious on a stock like Novavax. If you've been seeing this stock before, you know how it trades. Again, if we just zoom out, go into a 1 year potentially, you'll be able to see this stock kind of has big moves. It pops quite a lot. So when we're seeing this, I mean, they may not look big from a chart perspective, but from a percentage move, you know, that's a 100% move. From this level here, you have another 50% move. So this stock is a big mover. So that's one thing to take into caution, because it means we don't want to be short, really getting short buys at the earlier levels. Instead, we want to be more patient. Now, it is hard to borrow, but they do have options. So if I'm looking to trade it, I'm looking to trade it through the options, whether that's vertical spreads, or just outright puts. Again, I would be more patient. I would wait for the crack of $9, which we've basically already done. I'd be more patient waiting from 12. This is the first level I would look to be short bias, because that would be above at least the 3 month high. But in all reality, I would want to wait for a further move, start looking to get short buys from that second deviation and above. So that would be $13.85. And if we did break higher, we have another really high probability short bias level at $18.75. So again, these are the key resistances. I would kind of forget about the 9, potentially even forget about the 12, but from the 13.85 and above, again, if we do get to these relatively quickly, if we do continue this strong momentum, these are the levels I would be looking at short bias. And again, this does tend to squeeze, so I wouldn't want to, even if we could get hold of the shares and this should have finding that risk, not something you would want to hold naked, because again, it is a big mover. You can lose a lot of money if you're not trading it correctly. So again, want to be defining that risk. Again, that can be vertical spreads or outright puts would probably be the two ways I'm looking at trading this. And again, those key levels are 18.75 and 13.85. One last thing I do want to note with this is firstly how we've been trading over the last 6 months and a year. Again, we talked about the pops this stock has, but very clearly you can see on the 6 month we are downtrending. On the 1 year chart, we are downtrending. When we see this kind of move, again, there's usually a fundamental reason for this, usually not something we want to be holding long bias for a long amount of time. So this is again why I'm more short bias on the pops, because it's very weak from a 6 month, it's very weak from a 1 year. So if we can kind of capture that shorter and longer term trend opportunity, that's really where I want to be playing it. So again, if we pop 13.85, 18.75, I'm looking at that short bias. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, why don't you check out this video, because you'll probably enjoy that one too.